Welcome to my channel. In this video, we will delve into W.B. Yeats' evocative poem, Leda and the Swan, providing a comprehensive summary and insightful analysis. Join us as we navigate the rich symbolism and thematic depth of Yeats' verse, unraveling its complexities and offering nuanced perspectives to deepen your appreciation of this iconic literary work. Biography of W.B. Yeats. William Butler Yeats (1865–1939) was an Irish poet, dramatist, and prose writer who was one of the leading figures of the literary movement known as the Irish Literary Revival. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1923. Yeats was deeply involved in Irish nationalism and was a key figure in the cultural renaissance of Ireland in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Written date: Leda and the Swan was written in 1923. Published date: it was first published in 1924. Tone: the tone of Leda and the Swan is dark, intense, and mythic. It explores themes of power, violence, and the intrusion of the divine into the human world. Setting: the poem is set in ancient Greek mythology, specifically the story of Leda, who was seduced by Zeus in the form of a swan. Point of view: the poem is written from a third-person omniscient point of view, narrating the event of Leda's encounter with the swan. Poem text: a sudden blow, the great wings beating still. Above the staggering girl, her thighs caressed by the dark webs, her nape caught in his bill. He holds her helpless breast upon his breast. How can those terrified vague fingers push the feathered glory from her loosening thighs? And how can body, laid in that white rush, but feel the strange heart beating where it lies? A shudder in the loins engenders there the broken wall, the burning roof and tower, and Agamemnon dead, being so caught up, so mastered by the brute blood of the air, did she put on his knowledge with his power, before the indifferent beat could let her drop. Historical background: Leda and the Swan by W.B. Yeats is deeply rooted in Greek mythology, specifically the myth of Leda and Zeus. In Greek mythology, Leda was a mortal woman and the wife of King Tyndareus of Sparta. According to the myth, Zeus, the king of the gods, desired Leda and approached her in the form of a swan. He seduced or raped her, depending on the version of the myth, and she later gave birth to 4 children: Helen of Troy and Clytemnestra fathered by Zeus, and Castor and Pollux fathered by Tyndareus. Summary: Leda and the Swan by W.B. Yeats is a sonnet that explores the mythological story of Zeus, the king of the gods in Greek mythology, taking the form of a swan to seduce or rape Leda, the queen of Sparta. Here's a detailed summary of the poem. The poem begins with a powerful image of the swan descending upon Leda, portraying the sudden and violent nature of the encounter. The language used suggests a sense of impending doom, with phrases like a sudden blow and great wings beating still. This sets the tone for the rest of the poem, which explores themes of power, violence, and transformation. As the poem progresses, Yeats vividly describes the scene of the swan and Leda entwined in a moment of intimate contact. He uses vivid and often disturbing imagery to convey the intensity of the encounter, with phrases like terrified vague fingers and the broken wall, the burning roof and tower. The poem also explores the consequences of this union, both immediate and far-reaching. It suggests that from this violent act, something momentous is born, as indicated by the final lines: being so caught up, so mastered by the brute blood of the air, did she put on his knowledge with his power, before the indifferent beat could let her drop. Overall, Leda and the Swan is a complex and evocative exploration of mythological themes and human experience. It delves into the dynamics of power, violence, and transformation, leaving readers to ponder the implications of this mythological tale. Themes: Power and violence. The poem explores the abuse of power, as Zeus uses his divine authority to overpower and assault Leda. Sexuality and desire. The poem delves into the themes of sexuality and desire, portraying the intense physicality of the encounter between Leda and the Swan, fate and consequences. Yeats suggests that this act of divine intervention has significant consequences, questioning the inevitability of fate and the impact of such actions on mortal lives. Transformation. There's a theme of transformation, as Leda is depicted as being changed by her encounter with the Swan, both physically and spiritually. I hope you've understand this lecture. If you have any queries, let me know in the comments section and do share it with your friends.